Phone's ringing here.
Says we're now streaming live on the church. I have us up.
All right.
We are up.
Okay.
So we're now streaming live on. We've got a few people that are watching. Hopefully everybody's going to be getting on
All right.
with everything that's going on. You've become the master at this, Bill. This is like you were live on Saturday. You were live twice on Sunday. You were live last night.
Wow.
Now you're becoming live on the lunch live. As far as
it's crazy what you get good at when you don't have another choice to to communicate with people. I mean, what would we have done? Really, we talked about this, but what in the world would we have done? If this sort of thing would have happened before, the advent of internet and social media. I mean, I don't know how we would have communicated with the church, or that would have been rough.
It would have been crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I started working for my dad, and I was talking to my brother about it, and I started working for him in the summer of my senior year in high school.
Uh-huh.
So that would have been May of '75. My senior year started that fall. So I actually started on staff in May of '75. So I've been doing full-time ministry for 44 years.
Wow.
And I'm not that old,
Nope.
I mean, nope. But 61, that's a pretty young guy. But the point is, we were just talking about it, that, man, had this happened when I started out in ministry or those early years, I don't know what we've done. So, I mean, thank God for the technology that allows us the opportunity to stay in contact with everybody. So that's,
it's tough. I mean, I was talking to somebody yesterday and they were saying their church still isn't back because they just really don't even have, the staff to be able to do what, what we're doing, or all of the tools to make this happen. So, we were meeting as a staff a little bit earlier. We were talking about, praying for these churches that.
Oh, absolutely.
That is dealing with this, because it is pretty crazy to do that. But we've kind of realized that through this that, whether we like it or not, we're an online church.
That's true. Boy, that is fact. Well, we talked about how, you've got your on-campus ministry, and now you've got an online ministry, and it really is, you're right. It's like its own church. I mean, we need to organize in that direction, staff in that direction. I mean, when you look at how many people, literally by the thousands, that are discovering our church that aren't connected to anybody else's church. So it's really, it's a opportunity, really. I mean, you think, what would Jesus do? He would use every means necessary to get the message out. So,
well, you and I, we were talking about this. You were talking about this yesterday. You feel like, this is like you starting the Met back at South Lake Carroll High School. That we're basically starting over. You're looking at it from that standpoint. You were kind of, talking about as a staff. That's really what we're looking at is, we're starting a brand new church, and we got to start doing some of those things. And so part of what we're doing, even as a church, just like I think with a lot of the families, is getting back to the basics. I was talking to some of the pastors earlier today, Bill, and I was telling them, kind of reminding them what you had said, that when you started South Lake, is that, you were ministering to everybody who showed up on the weekend. But then on, Monday through Friday, you were going door to door, trying to seek new people to get them there. Yeah. And then you were, doing things at night with the people you already had. So it was all about, taking care of the people you had, but looking for new people. And so that's really what we've been thinking through this time with the online, is that we want to do these things and do the ministries that we have to take care of the people we already have. But look at this as a way of reaching people that we would have never reached before.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Early on, it was just getting an audience, it was just getting somebody. I mean, Cindy was in the office on the one computer we had, and I would go out and follow up on the people who had attended, either through phone call or make some contact with them, and then just went the rest of my time, because you had some time, because you don't have really a church. So it was just going door to door to door to door, knocking on doors, giving people information and telling them that we're there, we're meeting, encouraging your core to invite somebody. And then every weekend kind of peeking out behind the curtain, hoping somebody shows up. I mean, it was just, yeah, it was that way for a long time. And it was, but really, Rob, the effectiveness of it in those early days, and I think this will be the effectiveness of our online campus, is in the core people that came around that saw the vision of it and that jumped on with us and invited family and friends to visit. And in this case, it would be sharing the service, would be the equivalent of that invite. And that's what got the church in those early years off the ground. And I think that same principle works today. Like you were talking about our staff trying to redirect them toward kind of two primary objectives. One is making sure we're in contact with the people we already have, like you said a minute ago, make sure we don't lose anybody in this process, because people can change churches with a click of a mouse now. And so it's not that hard I'm going to go over here to this church. And so it's not that hard to leave. So we want to make sure we're in contact with them and ministering to them. And then on the flip side, to see this new frontier of opportunity we have to reach literally thousands of people with the message on the online side. So it's, I think it's exciting, really, Rob. It is exciting.
Well, what I've been so excited about, even through this process, you've always said this from the platform, that we're not looking for more members, we're looking for more ministers.
Yeah.
And to see the people that we have in our church ministering to other people through this time, and we've had more connections with groups getting together and helping each other through this time. And we've talked about, even with the ministry we have through our food pantry and for our relief team, and getting out there and doing those things. We had a blood drive on Sunday that people came out to do that. This is our second time we've done that, and it's just been it's been great to see all these people ministering. And same way with sharing the services, and we've had now that we're back in the building, we've seen the baptisms. And I think this weekend actually we have somebody that's coming that was like here for like the first time and kind of heard about it. Now they want to get baptized because of doing it. So I mean, the new opportunities are pretty amazing.
That's very incredible. I mean, it's just it's a great way to partner together to reach people that would not be able or possibly just would not at all attend the physical building, And so I'm excited about that. I think it's a great opportunity for us to really see, how this online campus, and we're exploring, doing the Bible studies online and leadership training online, trying to take essentially the various things we do on campus and converting that to an online experience as well. So it's a big challenge, and I really want to challenge our pastors. I know a lot of our Bible studies we use, different pastor studies and different kind of things, but I want to challenge our guys to write our own studies. I think we've got a creative group, a very talented group of people. And going forward, that's another thing I'd love to see us do, to be able to, I know Elaine does a lot of the studies, and I know we've done some of my series stuff and we've broken those apart. But I want to challenge our pastors to look at, study guides that we can create in-house to be able to minister to people as well. We've got a great group, man, and we have such a talented staff, so
we really do. And then actually, we're going to be able to actually feature a lot of them in the next few weeks, coming up. This is normally a time of the year that we do our movie house series. It's been such a big series. People love doing that. They love coming in, getting the popcorn and all that. But if you've watched this in the past, especially if you watch this online, that with copyright issues, we can't show the movie. So most of the people being online, it really didn't behoove us to actually do that series. So nobody would, most people wouldn't be able to watch the movie, and then somebody's talking about something they haven't even seen.
Right.
And really, there's not a lot of movies that have been coming out lately either.
No.
So, just to give all of you that are watching a little idea, it was one of those things that, Bill and I started going, okay, now what are we going to do?
Yeah.
how do
Yeah.
we make this happen? Kind of the creative process
Yeah.
of putting that together.
And you're so good at that, Rob. Rob, most people, you may not be aware, but the creativity and all the things that we do, it comes out of Rob's head, the services and all that, and not just out of his head, but out of his heart. And that was his idea. He said, "Well, since we can't because of copyright, and now we have such a big online presence, let's go a little different route." So I love the idea because what we try to do, I've gotten to that point in my life. Like I said earlier, this is my 44th year in full-time ministry.
Wow.
And I realize I don't have 52 really good weekends in me, to be at my best, because it's not just 52, it's 52 times 3,
Right.
and it's what we do. It's what I love. That's the thing that I'm most passionate about, is the speaking part of ministry. That's really my greatest joy. But it's just hard to bring that level of energy. So it's good for me to take a little bit of a break during this series and feature our other guys. And so our church has a chance to hear some of the talent we have on staff and the teaching ability. So it works for me. It works for the church. Hopefully it'll work out for our pastors to give them a good opportunity to get out there. We talk about, remember the old Coke bottles that used to say no deposit, no return? Well, that's kind of our philosophy with the guys, man. If you get up there, if it's no deposit, it ain't no return. You got to at least get a base hit.
They're really excited about it. Because like I said, Bill, you and we were coming up with the concept of this series that kind of mirror a little bit with the movie House, and the fact
Right.
that we were kind of going through stories.
Right.
And we started thinking about the fact that this is summer. This is when people would take vacations. But a lot of people that I've been talking to, their vacations have been canceled.
Right.
And so we came up with the idea of going, what if we became tour guides? What if we actually took people on vacations every single week and kind of explore some of the vacation spots
Right.
of the Bible? And we took various places and then really look at the significance of what that meant to us. And so each week, we've got, the different pastors, and I'm going to be talking with them about, where is this place? What's the significance of it? And really, why should this be important to us? And we've got some great things. You and I came up with, I think, a bunch. And then I was telling you this the other day that, did anybody take any one of our suggestions?
I don't think so.
I don't think anybody took any.
Yeah, but it really is I like that, in that our guys are, they're creative, and they're, because we were trying to really come up with ideas to give them a sense of where we felt the series could go, and they took it and ran with it. And, you really want them to own that. You don't want them just to parrot, our thoughts there. And so I'm excited about hearing them speak. I think the church is going to be blessed by hearing them. We work with them all the time. We get to see them day in and day out. Most of the church family kind of just gets to see them, for a little while during the week or on the weekend. But, you really want the church to know the caliber, the level, the integrity, the spirituality of the guys that we have on our team, guys and girls that are leading our church. I mean, I think we have the best staff that I've ever served with. I mean, really, they're amazing people. You go through the hardest year that I've ever been through in my life with my family, and just, oh my gosh. And, you, Rob, our staff, our team, just simply just knocked it out of the park. And so I'm so proud of the team that God has assembled here. And I think he has assembled it. I mean, when Jesus was talking about how you build workers on a team, he says, the field is ripe unto harvest. Pray that the Lord of the harvest will send forth laborers. And the best staff you get are the staff you pray in.
Amen.
Obviously you put out the word and you try to interview and you try to find that, but man, when you can pray them in, they're, we've had a few that we hired, but the ones that God sends always are the best, So, and we've got those God sent anointed people. And so I think the series is, I think it's going to be Now, are they going to do? I know the popcorn thing. I mean, that was kind of unique with the movie thing. Is
Yeah, we're
Dallas,
not,
these
but
guys,
but,
y'all
but
come up with?
Dallas's team has already got that. I mean, it's going to be well worth coming to, because we're going to be doing and they're going to do some decoration of the lobby as well, like what we used to do with Movie House. They're also
Oh,
going to
that'd
be
be
doing some
fun.
giveaways. We're, like I said, we're trying to make it more vacation-y,
Mhm.
and we're looking at it for both, being able to kind of make it fun for people that can come on campus, but also
Right,
opportunities for people who are watching online. So make sure you're doing
right.
that as well. I think we're giving away some stuff to Hawaiian Falls, and then of course on campus we're going to be doing some stuff that what we always do with little treats and those kind of things, just to make it fun. But yeah, I think this week we're going to be exploring the Jordan River,
Oh,
um,
okay.
and significance of that. Then we're going to take a trip to Nineveh.
Nice.
Then we're going to Damascus.
Hmm.
Then we're going to do the cave at Engedi, the Garden of Gethsemane,
Wow.
Sodom and Gomorrah, and Nehemiah. So we've got a lot of different places that we're doing. That's Susa and Jerusalem. As far as taking
Right.
to there, as far as the places that we're going. So I think everybody is really going to enjoy. The history behind these places, the significance of it, and I think they're gonna really find that the importance of how that can be applied to their own life. And so I think it's going to be a great series.
Hmm.
And then you're
Yeah,
still
absolutely,
going to
man.
be doing your live
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, what I'm going to do with that, Rob, we
He's
talked
going to
about.
critique.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. What I'm going to do is, but I really am. I'm going to take kind of what you guys teach, on the weekends, and kind of share that, kind of give my thoughts on it, kind of. So it'll be still a recap on Monday
Uh,
night of what we cover on the weekends, but it'll be kind of a not a critique, but more of
we were talking about your lunch at the ranch. I mean, you're live at the ranch on Monday nights.
yeah.
It's going to go through the roof, because on Mondays you'll be going, now this is what they should have said.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think when they hear our guys, I don't think there's anything that could be added to it.
Yeah.
It's just. But I'm still excited about. Yeah, we're going to keep that going, and that's been real effective. And it's like, if something's not broke, don't try to fix it. So we're trying to evaluate the things that we do. We talk about try to do better the things you do best.
Mhm.
And that's always a great opportunity. And summer gives us that chance to evaluate and what are we doing that's most effective. It's good to hear back from our people, our core people. It's great feedback, not fishing for compliments or even fishing for criticism, but just to get healthy feedback from our core to say, man, you guys, you do this well. This is an area. And that's kind of what I enjoy too, about what we do. Is summer gives us that opportunity to kind of slow down a little bit and reevaluate, what we're doing, and explore some exciting new opportunities through the online stuff. But I think the series is going to be great, Rob.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a great thing. And just for all of you that are watching as well, that with everything that we do, just like this talk that we're having today, we've got a new website called metchurch.tv. And if you go to metchurch.tv, it basically archives everything that we've been doing. So if you missed any of Bill's live at the ranch, you can go back and actually go back to previous episodes. We're kind of getting on the Netflix bandwagon, is the fact that we're just archiving all the stuff that we do, just to be able to make it where you can go back and binge on some stuff and see some of theirs. But also it gives you an opportunity to see some of the ones that you might not have seen. Because here's the interesting thing that we've been seeing, like I said, that we're kind of starting a new church with an online, is that we're wanting to use this .tv as a way for everybody can experience everything about the church, even though they've never been here.
Right.
And so that's another way of doing that. So it's been kind of fun to see all the different ministries that are going live and doing different things. And people can get a pulse in the heart of our church just by seeing that. And I think, I think that's why your Monday nights are so big, with people watching and wanting to see that, is because, I mean, there goes it's showing the heart of our church that when you have a senior pastor that's going to speak all weekend, and then he's going to speak to you again live, just to kind of even go into more depth of what he's talking about. And that's really, the heart of the church. And we've said this all along. It's that, you care about people. That's why we care about people, because God cares about people. And I think that makes it great.
Thank you, Rob. I enjoy it. It's just kind of what we do. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I didn't do what I'm what I'm doing. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's to me, when we can see people whose lives are impacted in some way by the ministry that God has called us to, that's really the fuel that makes it all happen. And I'm excited about really seeing what God's going to do in the next few months of our church. I mean, we've talked about how we want to finish the build out. We have a second phase we want to do. We want to put up a multi-purpose center to house the outreach of the ministry, everything we do, from our food pantry to homeless outreach, to have a facility where those things can be housed in, and then have our facility just finish out, the building, have an auditorium that's sufficient and that's set up and ready for adults with some supportive classrooms. Turn the side that we're in now over to the students, the other side that the students and children are splitting, give that totally to the children's area. Then at that point, we're built out. And our goal at that point, Rob, like we talked about, is to put some help out centers in some under resourced areas of our city, to go alongside some churches that are struggling, to help them establish food pantries and help out centers, and really just not try to franchise us and put us all over the place, but to do ministry all over the place. And I really am excited about spending this season of my life, doing that sort of ministry. And it just all goes back to, the people that God gives us. I mean, the people who are willing to serve and willing to give and willing to make ministry happen. I mean, as you know, Rob, that's the secret to everything. I mean, it really is. It's not more members, it is more ministers. That's really the key.
Well, it's because, again, the church is not the building, the church is the people.
Right.
And I think that's you're leading by example of showing that it's all about ministry. And really, I'm so excited about just all the ministers that we have here at our church, that, the people that minister every single week by giving out food, the minister every week by volunteering in different places. Because yes, we still have volunteers now that we're back on campus doing stuff, but we had volunteers before because we had, life group leaders that are still pouring into the people in their groups. We've got, people doing Bible studies. They have table leaders. We've got leaders that are pouring into your kids. Doing that. We have, leaders that are coming up, even taping a lot of the videos that we do. And it's just ministering to people and getting out there. And the thing that you're talking about is getting into other areas, is stuff that started here and is going to continue here. I mean, like I said, that everything we do here is about taking care of people and meeting the needs of people and helping to minister to people. Well, this model works anywhere. And the idea that you had, which I just love, as far as the heart for ministry, is that we want to go to places that are having trouble doing that because they just don't necessarily have the resources to be able to do that. And as a church, if we get ourselves where we can end up going into places and making those things happen, we can change, communities. And that's really what the church was here to do, was to change communities.
Right. Yeah, because it's not the heart of those churches that desire to impact their community. It's not their heart. It's their resources. They just don't have the resources. And really, the reason, honestly, that God led Cindy and me to plant the church in an area that had resources is so that we could, in some point, take those resources and put those into areas that are under-resourced. So this is really a full circle of where our heart was when we started this church, was let's get this thing strong enough, stable enough, healthy enough, let's get it where it's functioning. We have a home base to function out of, because if mama's struggling, she can't take care of the babies.
Right.
So we got to get mama healthy. And if mama's healthy and the house is strong, now we're in a strong position to finally go into some of these under-resourced areas in our city and make a difference with those other churches, partnering with them and helping them, because their heart is to do it. They just don't have the resources to do it. And I go back to, Rob, what we talked about yesterday, that starfish analogy. Remember after the hurricane and thousands of starfish washed up on the beach, and the guy was walking down the beach just throwing as many of those starfish back into the ocean to save their life as he could. And a friend saw him and he said, man, you can't save all those starfish. There's only one of you and there are thousands of them. He said, what difference does it make? And he held up one of those starfish in his hand. He said, it'll make a big difference to this one.
Amen.
And I think that's how we have to look at it as a church. We're living in a crazy world. So what do we do with that? Do we get frustrated and we pull the covers over our head and go back to bed? Or do we say, we can make a difference in somebody's life, so let's do what we can? And that's really where we're headed with our church, is we're wanting to continue to make a difference where we can.
Well, I think that, I mean, it goes back to what we said. You and Cindy started a church. It was a Great Commission church. Go and make disciples of all nations. And basically what Jesus was saying, hey, if I've changed your life, go change somebody else's. Amen. And I think those are the things that, you know, I get so excited about, you know, the people that are involved in our church and our staff, is the fact that that's their heart. And because they have that heart, lives are being changed, and you know, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, it's the so that, you know, we've talked about that. Everything we do, we should say, we do this so that that can happen. We did this so that, in other words, it's not an end to itself. Everything we do, if it's an event, if it's a movie night for the students, if it's, you know, if it's a run for, you know, but whatever we do, there's a so that it's not just, we weren't. And the reason I think we have, and we're careful as pastors to plan those events with that philosophy in mind, is our churches, we're busy. These people that we minister to they're not looking for something else to do, the love of God, you know. And if we're just creating busy work for them, if we're just saying, hey, you know, we need you to, you know, polish these nail heads, you know, or whatever, they're going to go, well, what's the point? Well, there's no point. We're just trying to give you something to do. Well, I don't need anything to do. So we want to be sure that we're respectful of our church and they understand that we put a lot of thought, preparation, and prayer into everything we endeavor to do, so that our church can fulfill vision and mission. So
you just gave everybody an insight into our staff meetings.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's what happens every time people talk about. That's what Bill's like on it. What are we trying to accomplish with this?
Yeah, what's the point? You know, is it just an event to have an event so we could say we had an event? Well, they do that at Six Flags every day. We don't need to do that. And they do it at a better quality and a higher level than we'll ever be able to do. So if that's all we're trying to do, we're in the wrong business. Right. We're in the business of changing lives, of reaching people, and every event, everything we do ought to have one eye on someone who's not connected into the church, another eye on someone who is connected into the church that needs to be discipled, and they need to grow in their walk with Christ. And I think you can do both. It's all in the Great Commission, you know, absolutely.
So, well, good stuff. We've
There's a lot of
been on for 30 minutes. I don't know if you've seen any questions or anything that anybody might have.
See one of my neighbors here. Hi, Jenna. Good to see you. Flip through here real quick.
Somebody asked, how was Hooper doing?
Oh, you know, he's doing a lot better. Thank you guys for praying for Dan Hooper, my buddy up at Fellowship Church in Grand Junction. He was working in his church. He had some problems, just faint, and he's in pretty good shape. It's just weird. He had some heart issues a few years ago, and he thought, oh man, that's back again. So he scheduled an appointment with a cardiologist, and long story short, they discovered he had blood clots in his leg and in his lungs, which could have killed him. And so now he's on blood thinners. He's back to some moderate type exercise. They don't want him doing too much until they can get a handle on those clots. But, his doctor's a great doctor. He goes, man, Dan, you got to live your life. You can't, like everything else we talk about, you can't live in fear of the what ifs. And so he's got a good doctor. Anna's doing a great job of taking care of him. Great family. So just keep praying for him that the medications will be effective, and he'll continue to do well, with his recovery. But yeah, that's the latest on Dan.
Yep.
Anything else
And
you see in there?
do you want to embarrass anybody today because it's a special day? I don't know if you want to put that out.
Oh yeah. This is Billy's birthday, everybody.
Yeah. Everybody say happy birthday to Billy when you see him.
Happy birthday, Bubba. So we're going to have a little get together. I get to see my grandbabies this afternoon. I saw Shannon's online. I saw Whitney's online. So I'm going to get to see all of them. Billy told me earlier he wants to grill burgers. So we're going to go, we're going to get burgers. We're going to do that. It says, Jenna says her aunt attends a church in Georgia that was open a few weeks ago, then had to close again because of the COVID outbreak. And I think that's something we're seeing around the country. And that's something we have our eye on, and we monitor that very carefully. I promise you, our church is probably cleaner than the grocery store you go to when you show up. I mean, good night. They're in there almost in hazmat suits. I mean, I saw Stephanie and who else was
Sabrina and
Sabrina. They looked like Ghostbusters walking around with that stuff on. They threatened to hose me down with that. I was thinking, good gravy.
They look like Ghostbusters. They got these tanks on the back of them.
Yeah, and that happens between the services. Most of the people that attend don't see that. And but man, they are going through every seat, any surface that anyone may have come in contact with. They're trying to make sure our building is a very clean, safe place. Same thing happens with food pantry. By the way, Abby was saying that if people can step up and volunteer, anyone above 16 years of age, we've got a lot of our core volunteers that are on vacation. So food pantry is needing some volunteers. So I'll throw that out there for
everyone. Throw that. Yep. And like I said, guys, if you want to know ministry, that's unbelievable. That if you come out and volunteer, you're going to actually be meeting the needs of hundreds and hundreds of families every single week. I mean, we've right now, I think the last thing we're talking with Abby, that we help over 600 families every single month, 650 families every single month. I mean,
that's amazing. And when you figure, when you say 600 families, and you can understand the average family is a minimum of 3 to 4 people. And some of those families have 5 people in those families. So you just do the math, and that's a lot of people. And I think that, and it's incredible. These are people who are working hard, just having trouble making ends meet. These are people who have lost their jobs due to this COVID junk. And they are just struggling a little bit. And our church, we can help them while they maintain their dignity. And it's hard for people to reach out and ask for help. But I have so much respect for these people who are willing to say, I got to take care of my family. And they just do what they can. And we try to, as a church, to meet them halfway. And Abby and her team do such a great job of ministering and loving those people. So man, that's part of the heart of who we are and what we want to continue to do.
That's it. Well, Bill, thank you so much for joining us here. Again, Bill's live. Again, I think we're just very lucky the fact that you're willing to, take the time to do that. But again, it's just showing your heart of doing that. Look forward to having everybody this weekend. Remember, if you haven't signed up, you go online to do that, to register for the services. We do that to make sure that everybody, if you sign up, you will have a seat to come in. I know some churches are doing it where you can just show up, but just to let you know, their contingency plan is if the seats are already full, they put you in overflow, which is watching on TV anyway. And so we just didn't want to do that. We wanted to make sure that if you were coming, that you were going to actually be in the room with us, and to make that happen. So make sure that you do sign up to put that out. And
also thank everybody too. Thank you guys for the blood drive too. So that was a success. So thank you guys for showing up and doing that. We're a church that not only wants your time and your resources, but your blood. It's terrible. That's a terrible thing.
But as we did, what do? We collected blood and gave it away. And we gave it
away. We're not a reservoir. We are we're a river. It flows through out to other people. That's what it's about. So,
and we are talking about the Jordan River this weekend. So make sure.
There you go.
All righty.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Okay, you take care. Thank you all, everybody.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Love you guys.